What if I told you the most luxurious SUV on Earth was never designed for rich people at all, but for soldiers who needed a vehicle that wouldn't die even in a war zone? Before rappers drove it, before billionaires collected it, this machine was built with one goal: survive anything. And today's G-Class? It still carries the exact same military DNA, just hidden under leather and chrome. Once you know what they built this thing for, you'll never look at a G-Wagon the same way again. Mercedes-Benz E-Class W124, 1984 to 1997. What if I told you Mercedes once built a car so durable, so brutally over-engineered that taxi drivers around the world ran it over 1 million kilometers without ever opening the engine? This isn't a myth. This isn't exaggeration. This is the Mercedes-Benz W124, a machine so ahead of its time, so mechanically perfect that people still call it the last real Mercedes-Benz. Before luxury meant screens and software, before manufacturers started counting pennies, there was a golden era where engineers were told one thing: build the best car in the world. Cost doesn't matter. The W124 came from that era, and that's why it feels less like a car and more like a piece of industrial art, crafted to outlive not just its owner, but the generation after. Mercedes didn't build the W124 to compete. They built it to dominate the road for decades. The body was designed in a wind tunnel, not with sketchbooks. The chassis was tested on the Autobahn at high speeds until every micro-vibration was eliminated. Even the doors were engineered to produce that heavy, satisfying Mercedes thud, a sound so iconic that it became a global symbol of true build quality. You could slam the door of a W124 after 30 years, and it still sounded more solid than most brand-new cars today. This wasn't normal engineering. This was the era when Mercedes put engineering first and profit second, and the W124 is the purest example of that philosophy. Then there were the engines, nearly unkillable mechanical masterpieces. Whether it was the M103 or M104-6, or the OM602 and OM603 diesels, these engines weren't just reliable, they were legendary. Mechanics still say the same sentence today: if you maintain it, a W124 engine will outlive you. These motors routinely crossed 500,000 miles without major work. Many did 1 million. Some went even further. And the most shocking part? Even the base four-cylinder engines were built with tolerances and materials strong enough for tuning. This was a car where every component was overbuilt, where every nut and bolt felt like it was designed for military duty. And if you want proof of its durability, just search for old photos of Europe, Africa, Asia, the Middle East. You'll see fleets of W124 taxis still running after 30 or even 40 years. Taxi companies chose these cars because they didn't break, they didn't complain, they didn't quit. They soaked up heat, dust, potholes, bad fuel, and abuse on a level modern luxury cars can't even imagine. Some W124 taxis crossed 1.5 million kilometers with original engines and transmissions. Imagine that. A luxury sedan built to withstand the punishment of a lifetime, literally. But durability wasn't the only surprise. The W124 had secrets underneath the hood, monsters like the 500e, hand-built with Porsche. A silent Autobahn missile hiding inside a family sedan body. The E36 AMG, rare, powerful, and now extremely valuable. Even the simplest versions of the W124 delivered a driving experience that felt balanced, stable, and naturally confident. The steering was precise, the suspension absorbed everything, and the car felt like a vault gliding over the road. And when the W124 finally ended production in 1997, something changed. Budgets tightened, electronics increased, plastics replaced thick German steel, and slowly the era of over-engineering ended. That's why enthusiasts say the W124 wasn't just a great car. It was the last chapter of a philosophy the world may never see again. A car built with zero compromises. A machine designed to last, not to be replaced. A time capsule from when Mercedes built cars to be permanent. The W124 isn't just a car, it's a statement, a reminder of the time when Mercedes wasn't making luxury products. They were making machines that refused to die. What if I told you one of the most luxurious SUVs on the planet was never meant to be a luxury vehicle at all, but a military machine built to survive war zones, deserts, mountains, and disasters? Before celebrities started posing with it, and before it became a billionaire fashion accessory, the Mercedes G-Class W463 was something completely different. It was raw, it was brutal, it was engineered to survive places where roads don't exist and rescue teams don't come. And the craziest part? The modern G-Class you see today still rides on the same core DNA of that original indestructible beast. This is not just Mercedes' longest-running model. This is the last Mercedes that was engineered with zero compromise, where strength mattered more than comfort and survival mattered more than style. When the W463 launched in 1990, Mercedes didn't redesign it to make it soft. They refined it just enough for civilian use. But underneath, the skeleton remained pure military-grade engineering. A ladder-frame chassis thick enough to survive decades of abuse. 3 locking differentials, front, center, rear. Something even modern off-roaders still don't offer together. Straight body panels built from heavy-gauge steel, welded like a tank. Every component was built with the mindset: if it breaks in the middle of nowhere, someone dies, so don't let it break. That was the standard in the G-Class engineering rooms. And the engines? A lineup of indestructible power plants, ranging from reliable inline sixes to V8s and the legendary diesels that could idle all day in desert heat without overheating. These motors were used by militaries, police forces, border patrols, mountain rescue teams, and private contractors all over the world. They served in deserts, jungles, frozen tundras, and mountain passes. The W463 wasn't just a vehicle, it was a trusted survival tool. Stories of G-Wagons surviving rollover accidents, deep floodwaters, and brutal terrain aren't rare, they're normal. But here's the twist that makes the W463 truly fascinating. While the world changed around it, the G-Class refused to evolve into a soft luxury SUV. Instead, Mercedes layered luxury over the toughness. So you got leather seats, wood trim, touchscreen interfaces, all sitting on top of a machine that could still climb a 60-degree slope and crawl over boulders. Even when Mercedes redesigned the G-Class in 2018, they kept the iconic silhouette, the door hinges, the exposed indicators, and that heavy G-Class click when closing the door. It's not design nostalgia, it's engineering necessity. That boxy shape isn't for looks, it's for durability, visibility, and rugged utility. And those AMG versions? Don't be fooled by the sound or the power. Beneath all the glamour, it's still the same structural monster. The G63 might cost 6 figures and live in cities, but the bones underneath can still go the same places the military G-Wagons went decades ago. Very few modern vehicles have kept their original philosophy intact. The G-Class is one of the last survivors of that era. What makes the W463 so legendary is simple. It never pretended to be something else. It remained a boxy, unapologetic, mechanically honest machine in a world of rounded, over-designed, computer-controlled SUVs. And that authenticity became its superpower. It went from a military icon to a luxury icon, without sacrificing the toughness that made it special in the first place. Even today, after 30-plus years, the G-Class is still built largely by hand, still over-engineered, still unmistakable, still unstoppable. The W463 isn't just a luxury SUV, it's a statement, a reminder that true engineering never goes out of fashion. And in a world full of vehicles built to be replaced, the G-Class is built to last forever. If this deep dive into the G-Class showed you why some machines are built to survive the world, not impress it, then don't stop here. Because the next video reveals the truth about the old Mercedes models that outlive even their owners. The cars built before cost-cutting, before corporate interference, before the soul of German engineering changed forever. If you want to understand which models are worth buying and which ones will drain your wallet, tap the next video now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It helps the channel more than you think. I'll see you there.